If 9 people tell you you look great today, and one person tells you that's not a good color on you, which comment sticks with you more? For most people, that one bad comment almost invalidates the 9 good comments they got. Why do you think that is? Hey everyone, it's Mark Talukdar and welcome to MTC Ed, where we discuss practical tools and techniques to help you live a balanced, productive, and meaningful life. This is part 3 of a video series where we discuss the 8 habits for a successful and happy life. Thank you so much for your kind comments. It means the world to me that you're finding this series to be useful. In the last 2 episodes, I shared with you how negative labels and bad company gets in the way of being happy. I talked about how both of them affected me and how I was able to bring remarkable changes in my life by overcoming them. I'll leave link to both of those videos in my description below so you can check them out after this episode. Without further ado, let's get started with today's episode, number 6 on the series, and the topic for today is get out of your own way. Trust me when I tell you, you are your own worst enemy. You don't believe me? Okay, let's do an experiment. Can you think of 5 things that you did this year that you were extremely proud of yourself for? I'll wait. Okay, and now can you think of 5 things that you did that you were extremely disappointed in yourself with? Maybe you told someone off and now you feel like a jerk. Maybe you're not sticking to a healthy eating plan. You promised to not give in to your cravings, but then you saw that tub of ice cream in the fridge and couldn't control yourself. Maybe you're not calling your friends or family as often you should. Maybe there's a project that you've been wanting to do for a while and you promised yourself you'll work on it this weekend, but instead you ended up watching Netflix. Did you buy that cup of coffee on your way to work last week when you could have easily made it at home? Shame on you. I'm only kidding, but I think you know where I'm going with this. Did you find more examples of situations where you were disappointed in yourself with? Or did you find more examples of situations where you're proud of yourself? Do you usually beat yourself up about more things than what you praise yourself for? And therein lies the problem. We are so obsessed with everything that we did wrong instead of taking the time and appreciating ourselves for the things that we did do right. We worry about our failures, other people's negative opinions about us, but we don't concentrate on the positives that are within us and around us. If 9 people tell you you look great today, and one person tells you that's not a good color on you, which comment sticks with you more? For most people, that one bad comment almost invalidates the 9 good comments they got. Why do you think that is? Most people remember the stink eye they got from a random person in a grocery store far more vividly than many important experiences in their life. This is because when negative things happen to us, we start thinking about it more and more. Why did he give me that stink eye? Was I doing something wrong? Did I say something wrong? Wait, what was I doing just before he looked at me? If we can't find an answer, we just keep replaying that event in our head over and over again. Whereas when something positive happens to us, we just take it for granted and we forget about it. And this is one of the reasons why negative memories are so much stronger than positive ones. So if you were unable to think of just 5 things that you did all year that could make you feel good about yourself, you're not alone. Most people are like that. The harder the time you had in thinking about those 5 things, the more you have trained your brain to concentrate on the negatives and not the positives. But don't worry, I'm going to show you a couple of ways so that you can start rewiring your brain today. By the way, if you're new to my channel, be sure to hit that like button, be sure to subscribe, and also click the bell notification icon so that you can be notified every time I post a new video like this. And I'm really excited to see what your biggest takeaways are in the comment section below. So what are some ways that you can stop this self-sabotage so that you can be more productive and happy in general? Here are 3 things that help me immensely, and I think that they can help you too. Number 1. Just take 5 minutes a day to think about something good and positive you did the day before. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. It can be something simple. Maybe you held the elevator door open for someone else to get in. Maybe you listened to someone speak their heart out without feeling annoyed or rushing them. Maybe you didn't hit the snooze button and got out of bed right away. Now, why is this important? When you're searching your brain for a positive thing that you did yesterday, you're really forcing your brain to go through all the memories that could qualify as a good deed. which is now filling up your brain with positive thoughts and emotions. And trust me, this will be hard for the first few days. If I know you, you probably have created a very high bar for yourself. So you're gonna find a hard time finding anything that qualifies as a good deed. Doesn't matter. Your challenge is to find one small thing, anything that can qualify as a good deed that makes you feel good about yourself. There are times when you might actually feel silly. You might even be sarcastic. Oh, I smiled at a stranger today. I'm a wonderful person. You are a wonderful person, okay? Don't bring yourself down. Just continue this practice every single day. Eventually, you'll find it easier to pick out the positive things. You'll find it easier to hold on to good memories, and overall, you will feel much better about yourself. Always remember, your inner voice has to be louder than all the negativity around you. And trust me, with time, your mindset will change. Okay, here's the second technique. Do not dwell on mistakes or negative experiences for too long. Accept what happened, take responsibility for it, forgive yourself if you actually did something wrong, and then move on. It is what it is. Seriously, move on. If you went on a date and it didn't work out, don't beat yourself up by replaying that date over and over again in your mind, hoping to find what you did wrong. Just move on. Now, I'm not asking you to dump your brain in the garbage and stop thinking. I'm asking you to stop overthinking. Overthinking it, replaying the date over and over in your mind, feeling helpless because you don't know what you did wrong, and then coming to the conclusion that you're just not good enough for anyone. This is what you need to avoid. But remember, you have to do step number 1 first. Because if you skip that step, your brain won't have the good memories and therefore the confidence to be able to let go of this one bad incident and move on. Number 3, this is a big one. Positive thinking is important, but positive thinking is not just enough on its own. You need to take action. But here's the problem with taking action, and I'm gonna give it to you straight. We all want to do new things, but we also all want to be sufficiently prepared before we take action. Now, you might think, well, isn't that logical? Don't you want to be prepared before you start something new? Here's what I mean. Let's continue with the dating example. Has this ever happened to you? You've been wanting to ask that girl out for a while, but you keep putting it off because you think you'll be perfectly prepared only if you lost another 10 pounds, or maybe when you have nicer clothes, or maybe when it's not in the middle of the winter and you can actually go outdoors and do something fun. You know where I'm getting at, right? Dude, just ask her out. There's never gonna be a perfect time or a perfect situation. You just have to go for it. The more time you spend trying to plan every little detail out, the more paralyzed you will feel. Because it's impossible to come up with a 50-point checklist and hit all of them before you can ask someone out. Instead, what you need to do is significantly lower the bar of sufficient preparation and then just take the action and go ask her out. And who knows, maybe she'll say, what took you so long? But if she says no and breaks your heart, move on. Think about what you could have done better, but don't dwell on it. Even in your worst case scenario where she says no, you have at least taken action and have released yourself from this mental prison where you felt like you had to do all of these things just to be able to go and ask her out. You know, what's interesting is that you don't do this with other areas in life. You get into a car probably every day to go to the grocery store. Do you really plan out every single thing you're gonna do while you're in the car? Do you plan out before you start driving when you're gonna brake, where you're gonna brake, how hard you're gonna brake, when you're gonna speed up, what turns you're gonna take? Do you really plan that out? No, that's crazy. You have a destination, you have a driver's license that counts as a sufficient requirement. Maybe you know where you're going, maybe you're using a GPS, but it doesn't matter, you start driving. You don't plan out everything that could go wrong and then a solution to go with it. If there's an accident on the road or there's a road closure, you take a detour. If you realize that a car is running out of gas, you pull into the nearest gas station. If you don't plan out all the things that can go wrong and a perfect plan to go with it, then why are you doing that with other areas of your life? Why do you think that you have to be absolutely perfect before you can ask her out? Or before you apply for that job? Or before you pursue that new hobby that you've been wanting to try for a long time? Don't sabotage yourself by overthinking things. Take action. If it doesn't work out, learn from your mistakes and try again. And trust me, it feels so good to try. See, when you try something fearing failure, that failure is painful. But when you try something with the mindset of, I'm going to try this, let's see what happens, then that failure is actually a learning moment and it doesn't nearly sting as much. Let me know what you think of the 3 techniques. I'm going to challenge you to just do number 1 today. Take 5 minutes to think of one thing that you did last week that you felt good about. That's your homework for today. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Please comment in the section below and let me know your thoughts. You know I love reading your comments and I actually take video ideas from that section as well. Here's a suggestion from Upasana Das. I would be very happy if you covered the cons of body shaming and the bright side of imbibing body positivity. Many people like me would relate to it on a personal level. Thanks in advance. That is a great suggestion, Upasana. Thank you for submitting your question. I will definitely do an episode on it in the coming weeks. And that is all for today's episode. Here's a scene from our next episode. On any given day, you can amaze yourself. Remember, you can be vastly successful in one area in life, but not be successful in others. But you need to start treating yourself as if someone is actually paying you to take care of yourself. Please be sure to share this video with others if it has resonated with you, or if you know someone else who can benefit from it. That's all for today's episode. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, please be kind to yourself. I am Mark Talukdar, and I build people.